All right, folks, welcome to the TEDxThirdWard podcast. I'm your host and event organizer, Darrell Douglas, and we are joined by the one and only Cris Wright.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, Cris, when I think back to the night before we actually had TEDxThirdWard, I don't remember if that was the first time that I saw you do your talk and you did it from your phone.
It was the time right before that. Mm-hmm.
The time right before that, it all sort of whirls together. But I remember sitting there and I was watching you read from your phone. And then I closed my eyes and I said, she has to do radio or something, because when you close your eyes, the inflection, the dynamic, it gives that she's actually giving a talk. And then I was like, is she going to be able to go from reading verbatim to doing this whole thing? So walk us through all of that.
Through the practices?
Yeah.
So for me, and you know what I just remembered? I was sick.
Oh.
Do you remember that? I was sick that first time that you saw the me reading from the phone. I was sick at the same time. So that was part of it, was me accepting the fact that I was doing a TEDx, because, you know, I applied and I didn't really expect y'all to pick
So walk us back through that. So you apply and you didn't expect. So walk us through, like, before you clicked the link and did you sit and do it all at once? Or
I did.
You did. So
I
you
did.
sat there, you did it. How did you narrow down what exactly you wanted to talk about?
It's what I've wanted to talk about. For the last few years, I have been talking about intellectual capital and recognizing and realizing that there are a lot of people who say social capital. There is a lot of focus on financial capital, and it bothers me, because the more that we're distracted with money, the less that we're thinking about impact. And for me, impact is purpose. And so, you know, for my believers, what are we here for if all we're looking for is the gold and the riches, right?
Absolutely.
So I knew I wanted to talk about intellectual capital. It comes across my screen. I think it had to be LinkedIn.
Okay.
Had to be, because it's the only platform I remember really on. So I'm going through my LinkedIn. I see TEDxThirdWard, and a mentor and I had just had a conversation last year.
Mentor, we just heard that before. So
got to have.
Would you say that's a life lesson or recommendation?
Oh, it's required.
Get a mentor if you don't have a mentor.
Please. That is my saving grace, because I don't come from a background with a lot of knowledge, infrastructure, and goodwill built in. Everything that I have built is, you know, really off of, I can't say without my family, because without them, but
you pulled it out the mud.
Hello. I like that. Dug it on out the mud. And a lot of it has been because of mentors. I have mentors that are going back to when I was 14 years old. So, you know, yes, please get many mentors.
So would you say that a mentor and a coach are very similar?
No, because a coach is a finite thing. It's for a finite amount of time, supposed to be for a finite amount of time, and for a very specific part of your life. So think about sports. If you're playing basketball, your basketball coach is focused on making you a great basketball player. Every once in a while, he'll give a couple of life lessons, you know, but a mentor is someone who is willing to lock up with you for as long as you ever need them. And most of my mentors, I keep up with. You know, I know folks who lose track of their mentors, or, oh yeah, they used to be a mentor of mine. We just stopped talking. No. You are my mentor today. You locked in for life.
Right.
So, but yeah, so I just talked to a mentor the year before, and she and I had both expressed at some point, maybe I'll do a TEDx, right? So TEDxThirdWard comes across my screen, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm from Third Ward. Like, sure. And so, no, I didn't even think about it. I just applied. My whole spirit was saying, just try, see what happens. I absolutely did not expect y'all to call me back. I really didn't.
I specifically remember your entry because it was a lot, but it was good. Like you have a very good way of summarizing your points. And I don't know if it's the academic in you, but
journalism.
Okay, there we go. But I was telling Reverend Doctor on the last episode that there was a consensus around like 8. When we gathered 8, boom.
Yeah.
And you were part of that 8 as well. Dr. Gunner, you were part of that 8 as well.
Wow. What stuck out? Do you remember?
I specifically remember you were one of the ones, because if you remember, we went back and did like, what was it? The first was like the semifinal round. Mm-hmm. So it was at the semifinal round that it was like, oh, this is pretty clear. Now, the deliberation process will work a little differently this time, because it got to be convoluted. You could see where like a lot of, by the way, for those of y'all that are watching, we had a speaker selection committee. And when you get a committee together, sometimes you get a lot of personal preference in. And so some things got moved around. But yeah, it was the way that you weren't scared to really like write in those open-ended things. Yeah. And a lot of people were very succinct. And I think that works for a lot of people too. If you can be succinct, because think about when you're scrolling through YouTube or when you're going through the bookshelf, like what stands out. Yeah. But you didn't shy away from like laying it out there.
I mean, if y'all gave me space, I'm a keyword type girl, because you got to remember in newspapers, because I worked in newspapers.
So you had a cheat code.
Right. And I always knew, like, they would give us, and we do it in inches. Yeah. So you've got 5 inches, you've got 20 inches. Okay. So if you don't give me a word count or a limit, I'm laying it out there.
And I would say with yours, it piqued curiosity.
Yeah.
Just your entry before we got to the videos, because at another point there were, videos that really sealed the deal for the finalists. But okay, so you filled it out, you hit enter.
And I went on about my life. Mm-hmm. I was just living. And then someone called me and asked me for a video. And I was like, well, that's odd. Again, I'm thinking there's no way I'm going to get this thing. I don't know why, but before this, I've not really seen myself. I'm aware that I'm a great speaker. I have a great speaking voice, and the face ain't too bad neither. So I'm aware of who I am, but I never really considered myself a speaker, a TEDx speaker. Like, for that matter. So I really thought the chances were so slim.
And I'll tell you this, we went from when the speaker selection committee, we all sat down, we had this very complex method that we were going to choose speakers. We had a rubric, and that was when we had like 50 speakers. Yeah. The next time I opened the doc, we had over 140.
Oh, man.
And just FYI, we're a month away from closing, and we are over 200 applications already. So, and it usually spikes up towards the end. So the original plan was to do all this stuff. We couldn't. And so when we narrowed it down, we literally split it up at the table, who was going to call whom. And literally we had to reach out to a lot of people to get them to submit the videos, because that's what we used to make the choice.
I'll never forget that phone call. It was snow day 2025 in Houston, Texas. Like, I really hope we get a snow day every year, but that's a side note. But I remember getting that call because we had gone out, hanging out with the family, building snowmans and stuff. And so, snowmen. So I'm sitting with my sisters, and I'm just like, we're, euphoric because it's a snow day. And then I get this phone call, and I guess it was the look on my face, because they waited until I got off the call, but they were like, what was that? And I was like, Sue, apparently I am going to be a TEDx speaker. And from there, it was a lot of just thinking through, am I really going to do this? Because did I tell you I almost backed out of that?
You did tell me that.
Yeah, I did.
You told me you were thinking
thank God
about
for
it.
Jesus.
Right.
Because I was really, really like, I don't know if I'm ready for this.
And what was that? Walk me back through, because you're probably going to be talking to somebody right now.
Yeah.
Walk me back through, I'm not ready. What does that sound like? What are the specific things?
It just was, I don't have, because a lot of people have done speaking leading up to their TEDx moment, right? Mm-hmm. They have applied to other TEDx's. They have wanted and desired for years to do this. I have had zero desire to be in anyone's limelight at all. Like this much.
Is it? So would you say that this is almost like, I used to work for the prison system, and long story short, they stopped giving off days I was a sergeant at the time. But they had passed some kind of like rule in HR because somebody did a lawsuit or something where like people that worked night shift weren't able to apply for these positions because they worked night shift. And then you're expected to go in there. So you would get a day off. So I applied to be a lieutenant so that I could get the day off.
Oh, wow.
And then they gave me the job.
Listen.
So I get the call. So was it like that?
It was like that.
Okay.
Like, I'll just cross off and say like, yes. Because I knew somebody was going to ask me, did you apply for TEDxThirdWard? Yeah, I did. I did it. They didn't select me. It's all good. No problem. But the closer that we, it was maybe about 3 weeks out. And I had gotten my final word from upstairs that, yes, you're going to do a TEDx. And so I double checked. I called up one of my mentors, lifetime mentor, who is also very saved. And I'm like, hey, this is what I'm getting. But if you get the opposite, let your girl know. And they hit me up in less than 5 minutes and was like, no, you got to do this.
Gotta do this.
And from there, it became about the mechanics. You may be freaked out about the opportunity, but the best you can do is work on the mechanics. And I practice what I preach. I have intellectual capital. I have knowledge, infrastructure, goodwill. And so I'm like, okay, you know how to write your speech. Okay, now you know how to practice. Practice. I have my friends. I mean, I'm out in parking lots practicing because they're like, my friend out of Atlanta, she's like, you need to get used to random people looking at you while you're talking. So just go stand in a parking lot and say your speech. And I did like 3 times. And there were random people walking by like, what is this girl talking about?
But you're knocking the jitters off.
Yeah. And I'm like running around the boxing gym, saying my speech at the same time because I was scared I was going to run out of wind, And so if anyone's watching this and you're nervous, it's okay. Just worry about the mechanics of it. Just a little bit. Darrell and them gonna make sure you don't show up looking crazy. I promise you that. So it just became work through the mechanics and it'll be okay.
Which part of the process seemed unnecessary from your perspective as a speaker? Which part was like, why are they doing this?
Okay,
go ahead.
Look.
Come on. Let's go in the vault.
It was the no slides thing for me. Okay. But everything else, like I had to really dig for that. So just know I'm not upset.
I'll tell you where no slides came from. And I think I was with the interview with Dr. Gunnar, I was talking about it. I'm one of those, like, it takes a lot to rattle me, but once I'm rattled, and it just seemed like that last week, everything that was anything was thrown at me.
Yeah.
It was, is the sign the right dimensions? What about the program? And then when the theater started asking questions about technical stuff, like lighting and windows, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't thought about any of this. But I thought we're just going to show up and do
and y'all were going to do that.
I know the order.
Right.
And so I just started going through everything was like, cut it. We were going to do a reception. We got to a certain point and it was just like, we have to just start saying no to things that have not been advertised.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot. And so Adonis had been working on like making the slides because there are 2 sets of slides. There were the transitional slides, like say TEDxThirdWard and then with your picture. And then there were the speaker slides. And I forget who it was, but he was like, such and such has 17 slides.
I remember who it is. I ain't going to put them on blast. I'm just saying I do remember.
And at that moment, I was like, we're just not doing slides.
Yeah.
We're just not doing slides because I was just like, of all the things that could go wrong and I was like, let's get rid of variables.
Yeah.
And so we were just going to go with the transitional slides. And I remember getting to the venue that morning on Saturday and I looked through the viewfinder of one of the cameras and I asked the guy, I'm like, is that what it's going to look like? Because it sort of distorts it. You ever like see LED recorded on something?
Yeah.
And so we didn't have any slides at all.
You were right, though.
Yeah.
You were right. Like, because I was so sure that I needed my slides in order to tell my story.
And then you didn't.
And I absolutely did not.
And then what's really interesting with your talk you're out there.
Oh, my goodness.
And we backstage, we're looking at a screen so we are getting the feed that they're actually capturing. The house or like the audience could hear you through those mics, but we were like, oh my God, her mic is not working. And there was a discussion, do we stop her? You were like 60 seconds in. And we were like, no, she's going to finish it. And so you come off stage. What was that like? You come off stage and then what did you feel when we told you were going to have to do it again?
Oh, okay. That was really because once I accepted that I was doing this talk.
Oh, from so you were
there,
good.
It just
would have done
became,
it the third time.
I really would have. Because at that point, I don't know if you remember, during the day, I was just like in my headphones.
Yeah.
I'm prayed up. I'm listening to what I need to listen to.
That was also fascinating too, to see what everyone was doing.
Wasn't it?
Leading up to their talk.
Yeah.
Everyone was in everyone had their own methods.
Yeah. Yeah. So now when I came off stage and y'all told me I come off stage and like you said, it was like I ran a marathon. I did it. Yeah. Like I almost collapsed in MM's arms. Yeah. Like I was just exhausted. Yeah. And she's like, hey, because you came and told me later, but MM had told me during the hug. And she's like, yeah, so you're going to have to do that again. I was like, oh, okay. Well, all right, girl, collect yourself.
Right.
And I didn't mind going again. Now it was different though, because I didn't have the audience interaction. The first time around, they were reacting to a point where I just hadn't imagined anyone was going to respond. So that first question, when I say the word kitchen, what comes to mind? I had practiced it like, with a pause, for the pregnant pause, so people could think. Next thing I know, they're like, you're here, you're this, and you're have food. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're responding. Okay, great. Okay, hello, people. And unlike other people, I could actually see. And so
that's right, because by the time it was your turn, it was a different line.
Yeah. And they were like, in that like first two rows. So I had one of my good friends there. And so I'm like, okay. Because I get nervous in front of people who know me, not people who don't. Right?
Interesting.
And then add to it mentors, lifetime mentors. My high school journalism teacher is there. And this is the woman who has been trying to get me to speak since I was 14. She wanted me to do broadcast.
Wow.
And I was like, no, Miss J, I'm going to do newspaper.
You have a very... You do. You kind of have that thing. I think you should think about it.
Yeah. Many have tried, and I think they're succeeding. So I did do a little stint with NPR as part of a newspaper. We had a collab.
Oh, that's cool.
So that helped me. There was a time that I was really monotone, and they pointed it out. So now that's where you get.
And they got you to get that excitement.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to someone who is not sure whether to apply or not? Not to the person who should, but who should not? Who should
not apply?
Yeah.
Ooh, who should not apply? Because I've really been on the train of, girl, just do it. See what happens. Because look what happened for me. I think the only, that is really difficult.
I'll say don't apply if you don't want to do it. I was reading this book and it was talking about, it used piano lessons as an example. It said there's some people who take piano lessons because their parents told them to. So they're satisfying their parents. There are certain people who sign up for piano lessons because everyone around them is doing it. So it's the popular thing. And then there's the third category of people who sign up for piano lessons because they want to do it.
Yeah.
So if this is I don't really want to do it, but it'll really impress this person. I don't really want to do it, but I need a win. Right?
Oh, yeah. Don't do it. I will say one of the things that made this a special experience for me is that I wasn't looking for the fanfare on the other side. Yeah. Leading up to it, everyone kept it does come.
It does.
It comes. Folks know you.
People will find you. People will email you. People will call you. I'm like, is my number on this?
Yeah. It's a little bit it's like, and you walk in the rooms and they're like, and I introduce myself. I always try to downplay. I'm a little demure. So, who are you? Oh, I'm Cris. I'm from Houston. And I just sit down and go on about my business. And they're and she did TEDxThirdWard.
Absolutely.
Also that too.
Absolutely.
So I would agree. The only thing is that I know I didn't actually want to do a TEDx per se. I wanted to get my message out there.
And you did that.
So that's really who it is. Is if you don't want to if you don't have a message,
then just don't do it.
Yeah, just let it go.
Well, you heard it here first. If you're interested in being a volunteer or a speaker, go to TEDxThirdWard.com to sign up. Like, comment, share. Isn't that what they say? Like, comment, and share below.
Yes. React, please.
Awesome.